OAWALKER here, and welcome to my review of the Nexus 5. In this video I'm going to be covering everything, all your concerns, the battery life, the camera, the screen, everything, and yeah, let's get this thing started. So first off, we're going to be taking a look at the hardware. This is the white 32GB model, and you can see it looks really nice. Just give it like a little twist around. I really do like the white one. Kind of prefer the white one to the black one, and I know a lot of people really prefer the black one, but white one doesn't look too bad. Looks pretty decent. I want to run through some of the specs. It is obviously running Android 4.4 KitKat. The screen is 4.95 inches. That's a 1080p screen, 445 ppi, and this is an IPS screen as well, so really good quality and good viewing angles. Up here you got the front facing camera. That's a 1.3 megapixel front facing camera, and on the back we have an 8 megapixel rear facing camera with optical image stabilization, which takes some pretty good shots, and I'll get into that a little bit later on. The phone itself only weighs about 130 grams. It's still pretty light. When I first took it out of the box I was very impressed about how light it was, especially considering the battery and everything's in there, so that's pretty good. Speaking of the battery, it has 2300 milliamp hour batteries. The battery life isn't great, or just about get you through the day, but I'll talk about that later on in the video. It also has the Snapdragon 800 processor clocked in at 2.26 gigahertz, which is pretty beast. One of the best processors you're gonna get on the market right now. The GPU is the Adreno 330 clocked in at 450 megahertz, which is still pretty good. What else we got? We got 2 gigabyte of RAM. It's got all your usual stuff: accelerometer, GPS, gyroscope, all of that good stuff inside. Now I want to take you through like a quick little tour of the phone, show you where all the buttons and everything is, so you can focus in a little bit. So on the left hand side we got the ceramic volume rockers right here, and they do actually feel pretty good, and the power button is also ceramic as well. It's got a nice press to it, very easy to identify. It is raised out a little bit, so you can like rub your thumb against it and kind of know where the button is. It's pretty nice, and that's the only thing that's on that side. On the bottom, focusing a bit on that, we got which looks like 2 speakers, but only the right one is a microphone and the left one is a speaker. Speaker quality it's not great. I'll get into that later on in the review, but it's not great. But the microphone quality is excellent. You got USB right there at the bottom. On the right hand side you only have your power button, which is also ceramic, and at the top we got the 3.5mm headphone jack and then your second microphone. On the back we got the big Nexus logo right there, pretty good, nice and bold, kind of stands out, and you got the LG logo right there as well. And you got your flash and your camera. It's a nice big huge camera, and like I said before, it does have optical image stabilization, which actually produce some pretty good images. On the front you got your earpiece, where your air speaker, and it is white on the white model and the black model, and there were times where I thought that was the LED, which is right down here, so I thought I had a notification, and sometimes I might hold the phone upside down like this, so that did happen a few times, but you get used to it after a while. And you can see there's no physical buttons on the front of it here, all the buttons are on screen. It's a very simple design, I really do like it. There's nothing to it, it's a nice candy bar shape. The edges are nice. It's actually pretty comfortable to hold in your hand. You can see there's almost, well, there's just a tiny bit of bezel right there, which I like to see. You can see you got the white, this is the white model, but all of it isn't white, it's just the back part of it that's white. And I think that's pretty cool. So overall the hardware looks wonderful in either color, and it's a pleasure to hold in your hand, very comfortable like I said before. And other reviews saying the design looks a bit plain, but I actually do like the design. I really like the simple design. I think it looks great, no problem. It looks better than all the other phones are out there, like the S4 and stuff like that. It looks much better. It really has a nice, simple, elegant, solid design to it. And I think that is about it for the hardware. I don't want to spend too long on that. I want to dive straight into the software now, so yeah. Now we're going to dive into the software. and this is running Android 4.4 KitKat, and there are some changes in KitKat I just want to run for you really quickly. So you can see this is the home screen. If you were to swipe to the left, it takes you straight into Google Now. They're making Google Now more present, you know, so you could actually use it more and easier to get to. So you could swipe to it to get to, or you could just kind of swipe up here and it still takes you straight in there. So that's pretty cool. And you got your notification, not your bar at the top, your search bar to search for all your stuff on every single home screen. And some of the new changes are, if you were to go into the app drawer, they're focusing more on applications. You can see it's just applications, and normally you have like a bar at the top that you could go into your widgets and stuff like that, but that's been moved, and it's been moved right here. So when you tap and hold on the screen, it brings up all your screens, and from there you could either change the wallpaper, widgets, or settings. And if you wanted to add like a new screen, you would have to get a widget or an application and drag it over, and it automatically creates a new screen. So wallpapers, these are all the wallpapers that you get with it. I have a separate video if you want to see that. Widgets, this is how you get access to widgets. So just drag and hold and you select which one you want. If you want to make a new one, like I said before, you just kind of drag over and it automatically creates a new one. So that's pretty cool. Some other features is it's more transparent. So I don't know if you notice at the top there, the notification bar is just slightly transparent and it kind of fades out. That is very nice, and you can actually see the wallpaper more. The same goes for the bottom here. I know the wallpaper is a bit dark, but it is kind of faded out at the navigation bar at the bottom as well, and it is all, and it's pretty cool. They've also changed the icons at the top from blue to white to make it look more, you know, more neutral, and they're kind of changing it throughout the operating system to make it look more consistent. And also, if you in the home screen and the app drawer, the icons are just slightly bigger, and as soon as I was using it for the first time, I noticed it straight away, and I was saying, hang on a second, the icons look a bit bigger, and it does make the icons pop at you a bit more, and it looks a lot better. I want to be talking about call quality now. Call quality on this thing is excellent. I had no issues. I was able to talk to the other person, and you could hear me clearly, and I could hear them clearly. The microphone, the dual microphones at the bottom and at the top really work really well. No issues with that whatsoever. So call quality gets a thumbs up, all good in that area. Next we're going to be taking a look at the battery life. Everybody wants to know about the battery life. I took this one off the charge, let's say about 9:30 this morning. It's been going for about 5 hours and 23 minutes, and it's got 8% left. On screen time is about 55 minutes. I haven't been using it that much today. But the battery life, it hasn't been consistent. Some days it will get me through the day, and it all depends on how you use it. Normally I would take the phone off the charge, let's say about 8 o'clock, and I'll come back about 5, and with light to medium usage I'll have about 30 to 40% left on the phone, and that's with I would say about medium usage. Normally I have about 7 or 8 email accounts constantly, you know, they're checking my email accounts and pulling in emails and stuff like that, and I would probably listen to about 2 hours of music. I've got Twitter refreshing in the background as well. I'll probably do some internet browsing. I play some games and stuff like that throughout the day. You know, just medium to light usage, and it will get me through the day. But if you're a heavy user, it will not get you through the day. Because normally when I get home with about 30%, as soon as I start using it heavily, I get the warning message saying, hey, you need to charge it up, about 15% left. So if you're a heavy user, you're going to want to charge it up at some point during the day. But if you're a medium to light user, you might get away with a full day's use out of it. So that's been my experience so far. Battery life, it could be better. Hopefully Google could bring some software changes to kind of improve the battery life a little bit. Or if you really wanted to, you could go over XDA, maybe try some ROMs that have better stuff to optimize the battery, you know, make it last a bit longer, which I'm going to be trying out for myself. So that's been the battery life. Next we're going to take a look at the camera. So let's put this here. Probably not focused in. I remember in my first impressions video I said the camera wasn't that great, I take that back, because the camera is pretty good. I actually had a chance to sit down and kind of mess about with the camera and see all the good stuff and the bad stuff, and there isn't no bad stuff. The thing is, when you're taking a picture, when you're like this and you're taking a picture, the quality doesn't look as sharp, but it's always when you look at it again in the gallery, you see that it's actually pretty good. It's very sharp. When you let me see if I can get a picture up. So this is an example of a picture I took. Pretty good. When you zoom in, you can still see the detail on it is very good. I really do like the detail, especially when you're zooming in. It still kind of has that quality to it. Very nice. So I'm impressed with the camera quality, and video quality it's not that bad either. I haven't posted any camera test. I will be posting that sometime very soon. Probably in the next day or two I'll have the camera test up. But the video quality is very good. The audio and the video quality is one of the best I've heard. Like the audio, the two microphones really do work well, and I had no issues with that so far. So video and audio quality is good. The camera is good. I would say on par, if not better than the S4. So from my experience, I'll upload both camera tests, and you can actually go between the two videos and check that for yourself, and you know, compare them and make your own judgment. But from what I've seen so far, I think the Nexus might be slightly better than the S4. I'm not sure about the Note 3 just yet. So that's just a quick look at the camera. Next, I want to talk a little bit about the music experience. The music on it it's okay. The headphone quality could be a bit better, but it still has very good bass to it. If you got a decent pair of headphones, it's got good quality and good bass to it. I'm not a music expert, but it sounded pretty good to me. The speakers at the bottom, in certain songs it will be very loud, not very loud, but it will be loud, and then other songs it will be kind of quiet. I think they said they're gonna push out a patch in a few weeks to kind of update the speaker quality, but the speakers is probably one of the biggest disappointments on the phone. It's not that great, especially when I use this phone as an alarm to wake me up in the morning, and it's kind of quiet. I could barely hear it sometimes, and you know, struggle to wake me up. So that's one of the biggest complaints I have about it. But if you listen to music, it should be alright. I have a separate video if you want to go check that out on my channel, explaining a bit more about the music experience. In terms of games, it runs fine. I've tested all of these games right here and a few more games, and they all run fine with no lag or anything like that. I have a gaming video on my channel as well, so if you're interested, you could easily go check out those videos and, you know, see for yourself. But gaming wise, absolutely fine, no issues there, and most games actually seem to be compatible with it at the time of this review, but that may change. As for benchmarks, in benchmarks like a 3D Mark, it did score pretty well. So you can see in this one, iStorm Extreme, it got maxed out, and the unlimited one, it got 13,660. In other tests like Quadrant Standard and Antutu, it didn't score as good as I was hoping for. The Note 3 scored a lot better, but then again, Samsung kind of cheats the benchmarks a bit, so I don't think the Samsung Galaxy Note 3 is 100% accurate, but I did expect a little bit more. I think that's down to the application itself not being 100% optimized for Android 4.4 KitKat just yet. Hopefully the applications will update it and, you know, resolve this, or maybe the phone needs an update or something like that, but it should be producing much higher benchmarks. But that's not really an issue. The phone itself still runs great, no problems there. Next, we're going to be taking a look at some of the negatives, some of the problems and issues I had with it. One of the first things is the speaker quality. The speaker quality isn't great. I just wish it was a bit louder and the quality was a bit better, but I think Google are going to be pushing out an update to kind of tweak the speaker quality on this a bit. Hopefully they could do a good job and kind of iron it out, but right now it's not that good. I wish it was just a little bit louder, and that's probably one of the biggest disappointments about the phone, is that speaker right there. So just bear that in mind. If you're going to be playing like music throughout the speaker a lot, or listening to radio or stuff like that, just take that to mind. It's not the best speaker in the world, and it does muffle easily when you like playing games like this. It happened to me quite a lot of times where I'll just be either playing a game or a racing game like this, and naturally my hand covers up the speaker. Maybe the positioning of the speaker could have been a bit different. Maybe they should have did what HTC done and put it on the front, which would have been perfect. But it does muffle, especially when you're playing games like this. So yeah, something to bear in mind. And next thing, which I'm not going to show you because there's some personal information in there, is that which I just opened up, is that Hangouts app, which is also the SMS application as well. It's kind of complicated to use at first. You do get used to it after a while, but it's not the easiest one to get used to. I wish they would have made it a bit simpler. Maybe, hopefully over time they will update the Hangouts application, maybe make some changes to it so it's easier to use. But obviously you can go into the Play Store and download a third-party one if you wanted to, and you could use that. So it's not a big deal, but it's something that kind of annoyed me a little bit. And lastly, like I've mentioned before, is the battery life. The battery life isn't great. I just wish it was a slightly higher battery capacity, or maybe they could do a software update that can kind of help increase the battery life on this. But just wish the battery life was a bit more. That's another disappointment that I had with the phone. But other than that, the software wise, it's pretty solid. I didn't have any issues with the software. It ran fine, no lag or anything like that. I love KitKat. There's quite a lot of changes in KitKat which are pretty good. And I think that's about it for the review. Overall, it's a great solid phone. I really do like the hardware and software. It's got a decent camera. The software is great as well. Android KitKat, a lot of new features. Applications run on there fine. This is simply one of the best phones available for the price. For I think it's $350 or £250 or somewhere around that mark. This is one of the best phones you're gonna get, and it's pretty good, and it's got some pretty beefy specs as well. Some of the specs that some of the higher end phones like the Note 3 has, and you're getting a decent camera, a decent screen quality on there, all that good stuff. For the package is pretty good. You're not gonna get any other phone that's better for this price. And if you're on the fence about picking one up, you're deciding maybe I should, maybe I shouldn't, just definitely go for it. It's a pretty good phone, but definitely recommend it without a doubt. Go pick this one up. And yep, that's about it for the video. If you like the review, give it a thumbs up. Leave your comments in the comment section down below. Did you enjoy the review? What are your thoughts on it? Are you gonna get one? Have you got one already? What feature didn't you like? Leave all that good stuff in the comment section down below. Subscribe if you want to see more videos on the Nexus 5, and yeah, thanks for watching. Peace.